The news broke like a thunderclap. The Wall Street Journal reported that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is pulling the plug on LIV Golf after the 2026 season. The blank check that built the Rebel League has been closed. And now, the I2 biggest star of them all is caught in the crossfire. Bryson DeChambeau, the two-time U.S. Open champion, the man who took $125 million to leave the PGA Tour, the man who was just asking for $500 million to re-sign. His contract expires at the end of the year. The league that made him rich may not exist in 2027. He held secret meetings at the Masters about returning to the PGA Tour. He has a YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers. And now, everyone is asking the same question. Is Bryson DeChambeau about to be out of LIV Golf? This is Golfio. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell. The announcement came on April 29, 2026. The Wall Street Journal reported that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund plans to end its financial backing of LIV Golf after this season. LIV is expected to inform players and staff of this decision by Thursday. For a league that has lost more than $5 billion since its launch in 2022, the writing has been on the wall for months. But now, it is official. The blank check has been closed. The timing could not be worse for LIV Golf. The league has already suffered a series of high-profile defections. Brooks Koepka returned to the PGA Tour through the returning member program. Patrick Reed followed, spending a year on the DP World Tour while serving his suspension. And now, with the PIF pulling funding, more players are expected to follow. The operational problems are mounting. Louisiana announced this week that there will be no LIV tournament in New Orleans this June. The event was postponed indefinitely. The state is demanding its $1.2 million refund, and the $2 million in course upgrades that LIV paid for will stay in New Orleans. It is a mess, and it is happening at the exact moment when the players need stability the most. LIV Golf CEO Scott O'Neill has tried to calm the waters. Last week, he wrote in an email to employees that the 2026 season would continue as planned, uninterrupted, and at full throttle. He told TNT Sports in Mexico City that the reality is you're funded through the season, and then you work like crazy as a business to create a business and a business plan to keep us going. But he did not comment on the state of the company beyond this year. The silence has been deafening. Now, the silence has been broken, and the news is not good. PIF's governor, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, recently shared a 5-year strategic plan that reduced the fund's international investments. The Iran war's disruption of Saudi oil exports accelerated the reckoning, forcing the PIF to prioritize domestic investments over international projects that were losing money. LIV Golf, which has never turned a profit, was an obvious target, and now it is being cut loose. Into this chaos steps Bryson DeChambeau. The two-time U.S. Open champion is LIV Golf's biggest star. He is the face of the Crushers. He is the player who moves the needle. And his future is now the biggest question in professional golf. DeChambeau's original LIV contract was reportedly worth $125 million over 4.5 years. He signed it in 2022 when the Saudi money was flowing freely. But that contract expires at the end of the 2026 season. And according to the Daily Telegraph, he has been seeking as much as $500 million to re-sign with the league. $500 million. A 400% increase over his original deal. But that was before the PIF announced it was pulling funding. That was before the league's future became uncertain. That was before the blank check was closed. Now, the economics have changed dramatically. As Rex Hoggard, a respected golf journalist, told the Golf Channel podcast, whatever it was that Bryson was going to ask for isn't going to be available. No one's going to be able to pay that. So, what does Bryson do? He has been preparing for this moment. According to The Athletic, DeChambeau and his management team spent part of their time at the Masters tournament earlier this month meeting with organizations to explore options should he decide not to sign a new contract with LIV. They were asking about a possible return to the PGA Tour. They were exploring the landscape. They were doing their homework. The PGA Tour has noticed. CEO Brian Rolapp was asked about the possibility of welcoming back LIV defectors. His answer was unambiguous. Brooks came back onto the tour because he made a phone call and said, "Look, I'm out of my contract. I'm ready to come back," Rolap told the Pat McAfee show. "So, we're thinking about it. We'll react when we have an opportunity to react. I'm interested in whatever makes the PGA Tour better." The door is open, but there is a catch. DeChambeau already had the opportunity to return to the PGA Tour earlier this year through the returning member program. That program was developed as Brooks Koepka departed LIV for his return. Also declining the option to return were Jon Rahm and Cam Smith. DeChambeau, Rahm, and Smith were the only three LIV stars offered a path back. All three said no. That was January. This is April. Everything has changed. The PIF is pulling funding. The league is on life support, and DeChambeau's calculation has almost certainly shifted. But here is where the story gets even more interesting, because the day before the WSJ report broke, Bryson DeChambeau gave an interview that seemed to say the opposite. Speaking to Flushing It Golf on April 22nd, he addressed his future directly. "We're still working on a potential contract," he said. "I haven't given up on that, and I think there will be a solution. But as of right now, my job is to help make the league work after this year. I just feel like I have a responsibility. I've put a lot of effort into it. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to make this work." When asked what happens if he and LIV cannot come to terms on a new deal, he gave an answer that has been dissected and analyzed ever since. "As long as LIV is here, I would figure out a way for it to make sense." Notice the qualifier. As long as LIV is here. Those 5 words are the key, because if LIV is not here, if the league collapses after the 2026 season, then all bets are off, and DeChambeau knows it. In the same interview, he spoke about why he is so committed to LIV Golf. His answer was surprising. He did not talk about the Saudi money. He talked about the young players. It's for Michael Lasasso. It's for Caleb Surratt. It's for Josele Ballister. It's for David Puig, John, Phil, DJ, myself, and the guys that have been here from the start. We're okay. It's now our responsibility to take care of these kids that believe in us. That's why I'm really doing it. Michael Lasasso is 21 years old. Caleb Surratt is 21. Josele Ballister is 22. These are the next generation of LIV Golf players, young men who left promising careers on other tours because veterans like Bryson told them it was the future. But even that commitment has limits. Even Bryson DeChambeau cannot save a sinking ship. And with the PIF pulling funding, the ship is taking on water fast. The question is not whether Bryson wants to stay. The question is whether there will be anything left to stay for. Then there is the nuclear option, the option that has the golf world buzzing, the option that could change everything. Bryson DeChambeau has a YouTube channel with over 2.6 million subscribers. His Break 50 series featuring LeBron James and Donald Trump regularly draws millions of views. He has built a media empire that exists entirely outside the traditional structures of professional golf. And he has made it clear that he is willing to walk away from professional golf entirely to focus on content creation. That's an incredibly viable option, he said earlier this year. The financial opportunities are there, and I'm excited to see what comes in the future. The idea is simple. No LIV, no PGA Tour, just Bryson, a camera, and the 4 major championships. Dan Rappaport, a respected golf journalist, thinks that if anyone could pull this off, it is Bryson. He is the only guy I think could actually do it, and not have his play suffer, Rappaport said. It would be completely unprecedented. There is this prevailing wisdom in golf that you need to be playing before a major championship, and you need to get yourself into competitive shape. But Bryson is a unicorn. He is one of a kind, but not everyone agrees. PGA Tour winner Michael Kim pushed back hard. "I just have a hard time believing this," Kim wrote on X. "You can't replace real competition reps. Breaking 50 with LeBron isn't the same as going against Scotty at Hilton Head. Nice negotiation tactic, but winning majors is his main goal, and playing on the PGA Tour is the best way to get ready." Rex Hoggard echoed that skepticism. "I don't think it's going to be fulfilling for him," Hoggard said on the Golf Channel podcast. "I don't see how that sustains him over the long term, because I don't think any professional golfer is wired that way. Maybe Bobby Jones was way back in the day, but I don't think it's realistic to think that I'm only going to play 4 events a year, and they're going to be the 4 biggest events on the hardest golf courses against the deepest fields, and have any expectation of being able to compete. The YouTube option may be a negotiation tactic, a way to pressure the PGA Tour into offering better terms, a way to pressure LIV into finding new investors. Or it could be real. It could be the future of professional golf. And that is what makes this story so compelling. No one knows what Bryson DeChambeau will do. Not even Bryson DeChambeau. So what is the truth? Is Bryson DeChambeau really about to be out of LIV Golf? Let me break down 3 possibilities. Possibility 1. He stays with LIV in a revamped form. In this scenario, LIV does not completely collapse. The league finds new investors, perhaps from the Middle East, perhaps from private equity. The PIF reduces its funding, but does not eliminate it entirely. DeChambeau signs a new contract, not for $500 million, but for something that makes sense for both sides. He continues to be the face of the league. LIV survives, but in a diminished form. Rex Hoggard, speaking on the Golf Channel podcast, said he could see a scenario where they can come up with some sort of a contract that makes him happy. The question is whether that contract exists. Possibility 2. He returns to the PGA Tour. This is the scenario that fans are desperate to see. LIV collapses after the 2026 season. DeChambeau negotiates a return to the PGA Tour. The path is not simple. The returning member program deadline has passed, but the PGA Tour has shown flexibility. Rolap has left the door open, saying he is interested in whatever makes the PGA Tour better. According to a report from Monday Q, a top LIV player believes that 15 to 20 players may be able to return to the PGA or DP World Tour. If they can return, Bryson DeChambeau would be at the front of the line. Possibility 3. He becomes a full-time YouTuber. This is the wild card scenario. Bryson walks away from professional golf entirely. No LIV, no PGA Tour, just his YouTube channel and the 4 major championships. He has over 2 million subscribers. He has the financial freedom to do whatever he wants, and he has already signaled that this is an incredibly viable option. It would be unprecedented. It would be risky. It would be exactly the kind of outside-the-box thinking that has defined Bryson DeChambeau's entire career. My final take is this. Bryson DeChambeau could be out of LIV Golf. Not because he wants to leave, but because the league he helped build is falling apart. The Saudi money is gone. The funding is being pulled, and the players who once felt like revolutionaries are starting to feel like refugees. DeChambeau has options, more options than any player in golf history. But options are not the same as certainty. And right now, the only certainty is uncertainty. The golf world is watching, and the fans cannot believe what they are seeing. This is Golfio. If you made it to the end of this video, you care about the real stories behind the game. Subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into the moments that matter, and leave a comment below. Will Bryson stay with LIV, return to the South PGA Tour, or become a full-time YouTuber? I will see you in the next video. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.